What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Back at it again with a little bit more tourist bus simulator. In tonight's stream, I couldn't say it's going to be a little bit different, but we're just going to go over really what's been happening over the last couple of weeks, should I say, regarding this game. Now, this is more so toward the Xbox side of things. Like I say, I haven't heard any reports from the PlayStation side of it. But obviously, due course throughout the stream, we're just going to get into a few bits and pieces and kind of go from there. But how's it going? How's it going, Tom? Welcome to the stream. How's it going, G-Song? How you both doing? But yeah, like I say, it's going to be a pretty chilled out stream, pretty laid back, and obviously just have a general sort of conversation, bit of a topic, bit of a topic of conversation around this, and obviously the Xbox updates which have rolled out over the last few days, and just kind of analysing that and going from there really. But I changed it all up. Got a different bus out this time round. But yeah, we'll get into it. The game is now playable. Good, just really happy that the game is now working. Yeah, nice one. So of course I saw the fact that the last update definitely well, I say it definitely not fixed the game, but it's definitely made the game playable for Xbox users. And now I don't really know what was going on there. I mean, a lot of people have said that the game is fixed. A lot of people have said that the game isn't fixed. Still quite a few people mentioning a few bugs here and there, like not being able to kind of go through the routes now, plan new routes and things like that. So I'm not entirely sure if it's, like I said, it's 100% fixed, but at least it's in a playable state. Now, we all know that really the game shouldn't get like that, and I think all it does is really highlight the things which I've mentioned before. Yeah, so G-Song, it apparently works on Xbox now, after the last update. But of course, I don't think they've actually implemented anything else. I think it's just simply they realised the fact that it just wasn't working, and they had to put it right. For once they've actually kind of delivered on that side of things, but at the same time it does make you wonder. When I do a shuttle, the people with luggage don't load it. That doesn't work. Yeah, that's been something which unfortunately hasn't been implemented for the Xbox side of things for quite a considerable amount of time now. Of course the PlayStation and the PC have got it, but like I said, it does make you wonder, because they're quick to jump on the game when it's physically not working, and I feel that they done that more so just to save their own skin. They could have just easily implemented more stuff along the way, couldn't they? They could have updated it, they could have give us something a little bit extra, like the luggage for Xbox. But it just seems that they've just done the bare minimum just to get it functional again. Bit slack really, but at least it's working now. I mean, I was quite surprised actually, because you don't usually hear anything from them. In fact, when it actually comes to asking questions about when new things are going to come, and when they're going to update it and things like that. You don't really get much of an answer, if one at all. But like I said, I'm really glad that the Xbox version of things are up and running and people can enjoy the game once more. You emailed TML and phoned Microsoft. Nice. Well, I mean, like I say, anybody watching this video, there will be a link in the description. It's like the TML help desk, and you can just go in there and tell them what you think. Really, that's pretty much all I can say on that matter. I obviously can't tell you what to put, but I can use my imagination and kind of guess as to what some people are going to say, But the option is there for you in the description if if that's something that you're interested in doing. Either way, it shouldn't have happened. It has happened. 2 updates to try and get it right. They've got it right by the sounds of things. And I think that's all we're really going to get, to be honest with you. TML got back to me saying that there was an update today. There is another issue. I can't steer. Was that before you took it? But anyway, like I say, even though the game is somewhat playable now, it seems as if they've opened up a can of worms essentially, because there are a lot of people reporting certain features of the game no longer working when they used to work. The steering is quite slow, and I have steer at limited speed. Do you know, it's funny because this is what gets me, because Xbox didn't have a very good time with On the Road. Now I know it's 2 different developers, 2 different development teams, all that sort of stuff. But I just find it mildly uncanny how it's always the Xbox. It's always the Xbox side of things when it comes to these sorts of games where it really suffers. Now I don't understand it, because you've got two different platforms, but surely they're on both the same version of the game. Now, of course, Xbox don't have the luggage or the ability to load luggage onto the coaches and stuff, which is quite strange, whereas the PlayStation side of it does. And I mean, I've spoken about it a lot, but I mean, surely that's something that wouldn't really take long to put right. I mean, they've now been seen to update the game to put the wrongs right, but they haven't really addressed anything else or said anything else about anything up and coming, apart from, of course, what they said in that interview with TML about the Unreal Engine 5. That is really it. Yeah, I can imagine it is, Tom. I can imagine it is frustrating. Yeah, I mean, that's what I say, like, we play these games for the steering wheel, the luxury of using one, essentially, but when that doesn't work, it kind of just, it kind of takes away from the feel of and the immersion of playing the game, I suppose. Their middle names, it's Lazy Studios. Yeah, well, I've got a lot of names for them. Yeah, Too Many Lies is my favourite. But no, I mean, the thing is, a lot of this, in my humble opinion, could be completely avoided. It could be. If they was just to roll out, frequent content, as well as updates putting the problems right, and introducing new features as well, it would be amazing, wouldn't it? There wouldn't be so much of an issue. And I think it's just the communication standpoint. I mean, Of course, there is a process in which these things, they take time, they change hands, they go through different hands, and there does become a bit of a void where, they don't really know who's doing what or who's saying what, and then there's a lot of contradictions between them all, So the game received an update, but the luggage still doesn't work. Exactly, G-Sol. Exactly, and that's what doesn't make sense. Yeah, well, I've discussed that sort of topic before, Tom, and I basically said along the lines of they could really do with getting a little bit more help, um, in the studio to kind of work on, the problems at hand. But I don't think that's entirely the issue. I think what the issue is that they've got so many different projects going, and of course their main focus at the moment is the bus. I mean, they do nothing but post stuff about that, so that's clear that the bus is kind of their priority at the moment. But because they're too focused on other projects, it's games like this which are really suffering. And like I said, the proof is in the pudding here, because we've got the PC version hasn't been updated in little over 2 years now. The PS4 version is ahead of the Xbox version in terms of being able to, use luggage and stuff like that. And the Xbox is experiencing issues which no other platform is experiencing at the moment. You just got to kind of sit there and ask yourself a couple of questions, really. As to why that is. I don't think it would take very long for them to implement the luggage, and as to why that's not been done yet, maybe it's just a time thing. But I was under the impression that they were going to be rolling out updates for all platforms at the same time, or at least that's what they said. But they're yet to deliver on that. It's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it? Really. Despite like, don't take this the wrong way. Like, I'm not saying that the game is a bad game, because it is. You can have quite a bit of fun on it, and driving and stuff like that it's really nice to do. But it's just when little things like that start to go wrong, or you got to wait just to enjoy the game, or for them to update it, and you're not really sure as to how and when they're going to go about doing that. And I guess it just comes down to how long you're willing to really wait, essentially. I'm glad the game is working, but they aren't doing what they promised to the world. No, well, that's a common pattern, unfortunately, Tom. It's not the first time that this has happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last. If they continue to, take the same approach with each title that they produce, they publish, it's just going to be the same. And that's where my concerns come in for, obviously, Fernbus coming to consoles. But there are a few elements that are different, so I guess we can't really comment too much on that. We just have to wait and see.
Hallo.
Good day. But it definitely leaves a lot of, like I've always said, it leaves a lot of more questions than you do get answers. And I don't know, I think people are at their wits' end with it now. That's about the millionth time. What next? The next century. Well, the thing is, right, is that I can only say so much. You know, I mean, there are plenty, like I said, there are plenty of videos out there of my opinion on how I feel about this game. And the problem is that it just, progressively over time, it's just got worse. And because these games aren't getting the love and attention which they deserve, unfortunately, all of those issues which weren't so much of a problem are now becoming a problem to the extent of where the game is no longer working properly, let alone functioning. And progressively, the longer that they take, you know, the worse these things are going to become. You know, these games need some form of maintenance. You know, and progressively, the more that you put at the game, the more you like, you know, the more likely you are to break it. It should never be that way, but you know, this is why we lose our game saves. This is why steering don't work properly. This is, you know, this is why passengers do what they do, and the GPS does what it does. You know what I mean? Like, these things really shouldn't be happening, but it's been, in my opinion, it's been neglected in a very, very bad way. You know, if the only way that they can come out of the woodwork is to repair and fix something which has gone catastrophically wrong, in the sense of, you know, saving their own skins with the fear of, you know, a mass sort of like recall update, refund being pushed out, you know, then that's the only time we ever really seem to get anything from them. They're not good at maintaining the game. It's like when they have a bug, they go have a drink thinking it'll fix itself, then proceeds to shut the game down the next day. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, Tom, but at the same time as well, any time that anything sort of substantial comes to the surface, it's always when they're on holiday or they're doing something else, you know, and that's just the general sort of go-to excuse. It's like these streams that I do about it, you know. I try and be as constructive as I can, but I can't hide or ignore the fact, you know. Their intentions are very clear, and like I said, because the game wasn't actually, you know, you weren't able to actually move, you know, that is something which if they didn't sort out, then people would be eligible for a refund because that's the game not working as intended. So that is the only reason that I can think of as to why they've acted so swiftly. Because they don't do it with anything else. You know, they don't update us or inform us about anything else, you know, regarding sort of additional content and, you know, the luggage being added and all that kind of stuff. It's just, you know, oh, you know, I passed it on to the team. And that's all we get. It's a shame.
Servus. Hi there. Salut. Hallo. Hi. Mahlzeit.
Well, it looks like it's all of them. I just really hope that they manage to sort this game out, because it is a lot of fun, you know, and it's definitely different. You know, there's not really a busing simulator like it at the moment, especially for console. You know, so we're just kind of just left sort of twiddling our thumbs, really. Oh, wrong side of the road. So I don't see them being around anymore if their games don't get maintained. They promise it'll get fixed. TML, yeah, just give us 5 years and spend 4.5 years doing whatever. And 6 months just updating the game and fixing nothing, uneducated people. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, I mean, I don't think I could have said it better myself. I mean, I think that, I mean, of course, right? These things take time. We all appreciate that. You know, these things cost money. We all appreciate that too. But when you're kind of like you're being blatantly lied to, generally that's when things take a turn for the worst. When you can clearly see someone's intentions and their motivation to really sort something out, you know, I don't know, you can kind of take it one or two ways, really, can't you? You're either the patient type, you know, the person that's going to sit around and, you know, wait for them to deliver on what they've said, or you've acknowledged the fact that they're not very consistent in what they say and do, and you just move on. That is basically all it boils down to. You know, I mean, yes, you buy it digitally, they've got your money, you know, you're out of that sort of refund like threshold, which is why they fixed it as quickly as they did. But you know, I'm a bit skeptical about this Unreal Engine 5 and how it's going to be delivered, and I'm also slightly concerned about, you know, because they always seem to, when they update things, they always seem to fix one thing but break 5 other things. And for me, them trying a new engine, and you know, that'll be the excuse. You know, we're not used to using that Unreal 5 engine, so you'll have to be patient. You know, and I just not really sure how much more people can kind of give. You know, waiting around and in the hopes of.
Hello.
It just gets a bit boring, doesn't it?
Good morning. Hallo. ¿Qué hay?
There we are. Thing is, though, deep down, I do like this game. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't play it. And I really do try not to talk so negatively about it, because I have had a lot of fun with it, and I have spent many hours enjoying the island. You know, does a very good job with captivating the atmosphere, and the buses drive nicely. You know, but of course there comes a point where you kind of it runs a bit dry, and when things don't obviously work as intended and content is abysmal, you know, it's not there, you know, it's kind of a pipe dream, really. And then, you know, the only real sort of updates that you see are just technical fixes that they needed to do in order to save their own skin. You know, it's, you're just kind of hanging on a thread at the minute. But you guys will have to let me know. What do you think? What do you think of the direction that this game has gone, or the general direction of where the game is going? Do you think that it'll be pulled up to scratch? Do you think it'll be updated and polished and ironed out the way that they say it's going to be? Without trying to obviously be biased, if you are somebody that really enjoys playing this game, or if you're a person that despises it and thinks that it should never have existed. Yeah, that's very true, Tom. And I share a very same same similar sort of opinion. It's not the game's fault. You know, the game's not in control of what it does. You know, it's to obviously TML and Aerosoft to kind of put that right.
My turn.
A.
Allez.
A.
I mean, damn right, I want to see this game succeed, but I just feel like that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, you know. And with everything that they've got going on at the moment, all their other projects and stuff, I just can't see them really making an awful lot of time for this. Because, like I say, they're bringing out Fernbus, but this game, Tourist Bus, they said it'll either be updated at the same time or updated shortly after. Well, why is that? Why doesn't Tourist Bus get updated first, considering it's already been ported to console? You know, the problems are as clear as day. Why don't they try and find some sort of solution into getting this game up to standard before bringing out Fernbus and trying to do two games at once? I just don't quite get it. Maybe it's a save time sort of lazy approach, you know. Oh, there's no point doing one now and one later, we may as well do them both together. That would be fine, but if they was to say that and explain things to people, I think it would be received a lot better than what it currently is. And that's all it comes down to, you know. It's just the lack of communication. You know, it's everything when it comes to gaming. You know, if things aren't put right and the telltale signs are there, you know, people are just going to stop buying your games. It's as simple as that, really. But no worries, Tom. Appreciate you stopping in. And definitely, G-Song, definitely. It has so much potential. Like I said, there's nothing quite like it. And it's got its own little sort of specialty, you know. But it's a shame, and I hate to say it over and over again, but you know, it's just like I want more buses, I want more things to do, I want different routes, maybe even multiplayer as well. You know what I mean? I want the problems fixed before any more content comes to it. But I don't think that's really on the table at the moment. I mean, if it is, it's not really been announced or portrayed that way, you know? Yeah, no worries, Tom. I appreciate you coming in, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Yeah, I mean, I feel Aerosoft. I mean, this is the problem, you see, because of On the Road and the sort of reputation that they gained from that game, and now they're publishing this one. You know, it's the reputation has come over, and unfortunately for Fabian, because he's a spokesperson, you know, he's the one that does all the talking. You know, he's I don't know, he's got a bit of a reputation for himself now, and I don't doubt that he's a nice, genuine guy. Don't get me wrong, like, but I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't translate too well, does it? The next stream that I will do is it will be Fernbus. Will be Fernbus. I want to get back into a little bit more of busing. You know, and as much as I kind of try and put it off down to the bugs that are apparent and around, you know, I do try and play this game as much as I can as well. But like I said, there will be a link in the description for anybody that has got any issues and wants to address them and make Aerosoft and TML aware. Then you know, click on the link and feel free to tell them how you think. Because I feel that I think the more people kick up a fuss, I think there's bound to be something done about it. I'm not really sure what can be done about it, because like I said before, you know, this has been sold as a full title. You know, it's not early access, it's not a demo or a beta or anything like that, so in theory they don't have to do anything about it at all in terms of content. You know, if the game has a meltdown, of course they are somewhat obligated to fix it like they have with the Xbox issues currently, but it's not enough, is it? Shouldn't be happening. Really shouldn't be happening.
Home. Safe. Maureen.
Right, I think that's all of them aboard. I think everyone's off. Yep. It's like this bus here. You know, they've done a good job with the interiors of the buses and stuff. The lighting's really nice as well, but it just doesn't feel like everything sort of fits together, you know. You know, everything outside of the bus is just a bit wonky, if that makes sense. Oh, the bus pack and the bus packs. Yeah, they are definitely. They're definitely asking for too much for the DLCs. Absolutely. I mean, essentially for a game which, for a game that's been promised to be fixed and hasn't been fixed in a considerable amount of time, you just want to be very cautious about the sort of money you chuck at it, because the basics of the game, especially for the Xbox side of it at the moment, aren't currently present. And in fact, some of the best services that you can do involve luggage, and if you can't, you know, pick the luggage up, then there's no point buying DLC to not be able to do that in, say, a particular bus that you may like to drive, you know. You know, I think because it's not essentially game breaking, they've kind of got away with not having to, or not updating it in a considerable amount of time, which I think is poor, really. But how's it going, Rocky? May you ask what my name, Rocky? Oh. Take out the telegraph pole. Oh no, the lamp post, whatever it wants to be called, I don't know. It's a bit random, Rocky. Why, oh, why do you want to know my first name? Are you trying to, like, forge my identity or steal my bank account. Not that you'd find anything.
Hey, what is there?
Mahlzeit.
Well, clip that, yeah, absolutely. Alright, I think that's everybody off. But yeah, like I've been saying before, like sometimes it is really nice just to be able to kind of just switch your brain off. Just kind of just switch your brain off and enjoy the game more than anything. I mean, it is just a real shame that there are elements of it which could be better, could be improved upon, but definitely added to. And hopefully this comes with time, but I just don't see how a new engine is really gonna sort of improve. Of course, it'll improve the visuals, and I guess it'll aid the running and make things a bit smoother. But I feel that the existing issues won't go away just because they put it, in a new engine. You know what I mean, they have to fix all of these things before they do that. So who knows whether they do that or not. I just can't wait until they give us an actual date. That would be quite nice. Just when I say hi, I can say hi to you. Okay, not a problem. Well, I mean, you can call me, you know, you can call me Diesel, call me Diesel Viking, you can call me whatever you want, really. I mean, if you really want to know, my name is Mike. My first name is Mike, so, if that makes things easier for you, then that's cool. But yeah, my name is Mike. God, this is a bit of a twisty, turny road, isn't it? Oh man, they obviously tested this, didn't they? Oh man. Like, you need both lanes just to be able to get up here. Any oncoming traffic and you're done for. No, you're all good, Rocky. You're all good, man. Oh man. No, like I say, Rocky, you're absolutely fine, man. You're absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. There is a bit of a delay in the stream as well from when I say it to when you hear it currently. Trying to work a way around getting that fixed. So if I don't answer straight away to you, that is why. Not a bad little view. Oh, for goodness sake. What I don't like as well is how close the NPCs, how close the drivers sit behind you. You know, it feels like once you kind of get yourself into a situation, the moment that you try and reverse, it's like they're like, "I'm here." Oh man. I mean, I'm glad that the drivers wait on the corners. I think that's as intelligent as I've seen them as far. Yeah, Rocky, I am playing it on PC, mate. Yeah. Let's download the game for the. Well, good luck with that one, G-Song. How's it going? Bang Liffy? Sorry if I butchered your name. Yeah, I mean, I could always give it a go, I suppose. Although sometimes, you know, you do find yourself in pretty tight situations. You don't really have much of a choice. I don't tend to struggle with stuff like that. I mean, I play stuff like Euro Truck and American Truck, and I do some pretty big hauls. I don't really have many problems with, we're taking corners on that, like with wide loads and stuff. But this game, I don't know what it is. It's just it feels a bit. I know it doesn't feel like the roads are wide enough sometimes. Oh man, now you've asked the question. Oh, can't actually remember the name of it now that you've mentioned it. Vehicles. That's the one. Yeah, I'm driving the comfort class, which is pretty nice coach so far, I must admit. It's a pretty smooth drive.
Hola.
So currently, Rocky, I think it's a 3070 or 3080. Can't remember off the top of my head, but if you're in the Discord, I will put the information in there. But I'm pretty sure it's can't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. Oh, nice one. Nice one. Like I say, there's a lot of like when it comes to the DLCs, you know, I would have absolutely loved to be able to try out new buses. But I just don't feel that the game is in a good enough way to really chuck any more money at it, you know. I mean, this is the second time that I have purchased this game on 2 different platforms, so yeah, I don't think I'm going to be buying any of their DLCs anytime soon. Not until they've obviously delivered on what they've recently promised. If they bring it up to Unreal Engine 5 and iron out the kinks and, you know, get everything sort of right, then see, that's what I mean. Like, how are you supposed to do that? But yeah, if they manage to deliver on that, then I potentially. But for the moment, you know, I'm steering well clear of buying anything for this game at the moment. Beautiful view though of nothing. But I have to say, this game does run a lot nicer on the PC in comparison to the PlayStation version, at least. I can't really comment too much on the Xbox side of it because, well, I just don't own an Xbox. So of course they promised to bring this game up to speed with the new Unreal Engine 5. So that'll be like new features and things. Graphically it'll be improved alongside with, you know, it running a lot smoother and things like that. The sort of typical things that come from a new engine. And they said that they were going to bring the console and the PC side of it up to Unreal Engine 5. But not until they've dealt with Fernbus, the Fernbus port. So literally as and when, really, they haven't really given an awful lot of information as to when that's going to happen. But I mean, I would imagine it would be somewhat later this year, maybe early next. Just depends whether they can get the bus out of the way first, I would imagine. I mean, building a PC on a budget in today's market, Rocky, is very difficult because of the shortage of parts and the demand for parts. It is ridiculously expensive, and to be fair, £900 would get you a fairly decent setup, but you're not going to be running everything at like ultra, you know. And it's not just the graphics card as well, it's the RAM and all that sort of stuff, storage as well. You know, it can all add up and it can get very, very pricey. Completely worth it, absolutely, completely worth it. But I mean, when people say they're going to build something on a budget, it never really works out too well, especially when it comes to building a PC these days. For me, I mean, I've got a PC and I've got a gaming laptop. Now, I was a bit skeptical about getting a gaming laptop actually, because obviously the heat that they kick out and stuff like that, and you know, it's a laptop at the end of the day. But I was pleasantly surprised actually. You know, and I mean, gaming on the go is fantastic. You know, or just laying in bed and, you know, gaming away. Yeah, it's what I bought instead of a, because I was going to get a Series X as well, but I thought, no, I'll buy a gaming laptop, and because you can obviously do all the Games Pass on that as well, so you know, it's quite a good investment, I think. Sunset and sunrise are pretty good on this game. I mean, the colour in the sky. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I mean, in some instances, it feels like you have to wear a pair of sunglasses, you know, to avoid your retinas being burnt out, you know, with the sun rays. But I mean, other than that, you know, it's a free tan, I suppose. This is quite treacherous up here. This. Give a credit to the people that do it in the real world, you know. For the gaming laptop, Rocky, I believe. I mean, the best times to really do it is like Black Friday and stuff like that. In my humble opinion, you're probably better off waiting until like the January sales or something like that. But my gaming laptop was close to, I think it was close to about 900 quid. I think maybe a bit more than that, 950, something like that. It was close to £1,000 anyway. But that was because obviously, you know, it when you go up in RAM size, that's when the prices start to fluctuate. And to be fair, there are some really decent gaming laptops out there. You just got to find the right one that does what you want it to do. You know. But I would definitely advise getting something that's got at least 16 gig of RAM, because you'll find that a lot of games, they can be quite demanding. Well, looks like they're all off. Better to buy than build it. At the moment, yeah, Rocky, at the moment it is definitely better to buy than build, and that's just simply down to the lack of parts, you know. First laptop I seen on Curry's was £4 grand. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Stu. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Like I say, when it comes to gaming, like PC gaming, like the question is like, when someone says to you what you're going to use it for, when you get one, you only begin to understand what they mean by that. You know, like if you're going to be using it for editing and things like that, and having multiple applications running in the background as well as gaming too, you know, then there are different different setups, different things that you can buy, or different laptops or different, you know, PCs that you can buy which cater for different things. You know, if you're planning on streaming and gaming at the same time, then you're going to want a pretty hefty setup. You know, something that's not going to cook itself alive, you know, for like an hour of gaming. You know what I mean? But there's absolutely nothing wrong with a gaming laptop. In fact, I'm playing this on my gaming laptop at the moment. So, you know what I mean? My PC, like I say, it very rarely gets used, and it's quite strange actually, because it's just down to the matter of convenience that the laptop gives. Bloop, bloop. But yeah, there are some pretty expensive setups out there. But the thing is, for me, like something expensive and that can provide, you know, what I want it to do is justifiable. But there's no point going out and spending 4 or 5 grand on a PC just to play Tourist Bus. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Stu, it's expensive, isn't it? And the thing is like you pay that money for it, and it don't stop there. You know, some PCs don't even come with a monitor. You know, or a keyboard or a mouse. You know, you basically just buy it as it is. Which is mad, really, when you think about it. I think what I'm going to do, I tried to do last time here, is try and turn it round. Yeah, there's a million and one things that you can do to improve your gaming, and I mean there's a lot of settings as well that you can change to avoid it having a massive meltdown. Don't mind me. Don't worry, it'll buff out. There we go. That was a bit messy, but it's alright. Only thing that's let it down is the HTD. Yeah. So what's your SSD then? Your solid state drive, is that like what, 500 gig or? Because that is a very crippling thing, storage, and for some reason in this day and age, you know, the more storage you want, the more expensive it becomes. But you want to download some more games, Stu? It'd be pretty cool. As you got a wheel as well, you know, you should get yourself on Euro Truck. You know, an American truck and all that good stuff. You can do some Truckers MP. Yeah, I mean, obviously when you can, I would upgrade it if I was you, because of course when your games start updating and you know your hardware and your drivers need updating as well, that 500 gigabyte seems to go very, very quickly. And get yourself like an external hard drive or something. You mean I was quite lucky because I had a couple of PS4s laying around, you know, and I had a few 3.0 USB hard drive cases that I converted and formatted, so you know I ended up with a couple terabyte at the end of it. I could just use. But it don't last long, that's for sure. How many gigs of RAM did you end up getting, Stu?
Hello.
More.
Moon.
Yeah, Rocky, I don't blame you, man. To be fair, right, this is one of the nicer luxuries of owning a PC, okay? Because you get access to a lot of the older games which consoles just don't get, you know. And going back to older titles for me has been a little bit more rewarding and a bit more refreshing. Because to be fair, like you just said, you know, all these latest games coming out, you know, all these bugs and stuff like that, it's just not enjoyable, is it? I was actually having a conversation with someone the other day. I was saying to them, I miss the days of when, you know, you could just put the disc in and play it. You know, now you know, you got to put the disc in and then install it. You know, and then it's like, it's like, goodness me, I just want to put the disc in and play. That's it. I don't want to wait like 10 hours for the thing to install so I can enjoy a game which I was, you know, looking forward to playing. But now they've all obviously got the 4090 graphics cards as well now, which is crazy. It's one hell of an expensive hobby, I tell you that much. Whoa. It's like driving a boat. Ugh. Goodness me. Whoa. Thought game crash the other night, lol, was just different in load time. 16 gigabyte, but have 4 slots. Yeah, yeah. I have my old ZX81 Spectrum with all the old tapes. Oh, nice one, Rocky. Nice one. You still playing on the road, Rocky? Or have you've accepted defeat now? Oh, really, G-Song? I mean, I'm quite surprised actually, because I wouldn't like to imagine how many phone calls or how many emails they get on a daily basis about this game. And of course, they try and keep it professional. When I say professional, I mean just silence. You know, because they don't know what's going on, do they? I think we've been pretty patient, and I think we've been very constructive on the criticism that we've given, and I think they've just taken it to heart. Yeah, you fire away, Rocky, you fire away. Oh man. I'm gonna end up with no windows after this. Oh, there we go. Oh, there was a see you next Tuesday. Nice one. No, I completely agree. I completely agree. Funny enough, Rocky, like I was sat there thinking to myself the other day, do I buy it for the PC just to see whether there is any sort of significant difference between the console version and the PC version? And then I thought to myself, no, I'm not giving them any more of my money. I'll just settle for the fact that there isn't a difference and move on. It felt safer. I mean, I bought this game and would like to play. That's unacceptable for me at this point. Yeah, I mean, what? You still can't play it, G-Song? Because a lot of people on the Xbox, they've said that the game is now obviously functional. It's working again, but there are a handful of people which have mentioned that the game is still freezing. They've mentioned that the routes are not working. The map isn't working. You know, and they so on occasion they can't move themselves. So you know, I'm just curious actually as to see what has actually been done. Because you've got half the crowd saying it's working absolutely fine, and then you've got the other side that's saying no, it's not. It's still a big mess.
Hello there.
You're all good, Rocky. You ain't got to apologise, mate. Ain't got to apologise. I mean, I think it would be nice for them to kind of address the audience, you know, kind of pick on the elephant in the room a little bit, you know, and actually discuss what they are planning on doing and where they see this game going. And when I say that, I don't mean like telling us about Unreal Engine 5 and all this sort of stuff. I'm on about the real sort of questions that we all want answered. You know, we know that it's coming to Unreal. We know Unreal 5. We know that they're planning on putting it through those paces. But we want to know a little bit more than that. You know, we want to know: are you going to fix the current issues? You know, what have you fixed so far in relation to what we've all pointed out? When is Xbox going to get the luggage update? Because if you want my honest opinion, right? I don't think that Xbox are actually going to get the luggage update until the Unreal 5 version of the game gets released. And that's just me going off of like the experience that I've had with Aerosoft and TML before. With the last update, I'm walking like 10 meters and then my camera just spinning non-stop. Wow, that's not good. I've subbed to you for a while. You know my thought of on the road. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Rocky. But that's it. That's what I mean. Like we all have. Sometimes we all have sort of like negative thoughts towards these games, you know, and we despise them for it. But yeah, again, there's another side of us that, like, you know, notices the passion, notices that these games aren't too bad, and you know, through passion, we just get ourselves a little bit worked up because these things really shouldn't happen. And what made me more angry than anything was the fact that they knew what the problems were, completely ignored the fact, and then threw ridiculously priced DLCs in everyone's face. And I mean, of course, yeah, you ain't got to buy it; it's your choice. But do you know what I mean? It just shows you the sort of general attitude of the people that we're buying these games from. And and because we don't get simple communication, we can't expect, you know, for our questions to be answered when we want them to be answered, because they just don't do that. You got more chance of winning the lottery, essentially. Yeah, absolutely, Rocky. The Xbox Series X is a powerful machine. It's a powerful machine, and it does make you wonder why they haven't really exhausted the hardware that's available. I mean, I know they're new to the whole console porting side of it, but I mean, they get other people to do it for them. Do you know what I mean? And it's not. I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's good at all. Especially when they start blaming each other. That's not very professional, in my opinion. Now, of course, I'm no game developer, but we all know the basics of what we would need to do in order for a game to succeed and have a long life, you know. They just assume that we're stupid. That's it. We're just stupid. We're the stupid player that forks money out for games like this. Pretty much. It's like, what do they know? You know? And they think they can just chuck any sort of excuse at us and expect us to believe it. And the thing is, especially coming from, a British person's perspective, when you can smell the BS a mile off, anybody in the UK is capable of doing that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not stupid as what they think we are. Yeah, no worries, G-Song. I'll be interested to actually see that. Like I say, I will continue to update you on the progress and all the things which I find within this game, and any sort of information which is leading up to the point of like a date for the upgrade and all that kind of stuff. I will follow it through. Despite how I feel about this game sometimes, I will follow it through. But I think for the course of the action for the channel especially, is getting some more simulation games in there, using the wheel, and kind of going from there. Contemplating bringing Train Life to the channel as well. Like I say, if you're interested in watching that, let me know and I can make it happen. Because I did like Train Sim World 3. I thought it was a fantastic game. And of course Train Life is all about trains. So yeah, I want to dabble a little bit more into that aspect of things as well. Yeah, no worries, Rocky. No worries. I appreciate you coming in, man. Enjoy the rest of your evening. No, I appreciate that, Rocky. I really do. I mean, like I say, it's not really worried about that, to be honest. I just do it because I enjoy doing it. You guys are what makes it for me. You know, having people to talk to, essentially. You know, whilst I'm playing the game as well, it's nice to be able to converse and hear everybody's sort of thoughts and opinions and all that good stuff. You know, it's good. But what are you all up to anyway? Let us know in the chat. Any of you lot on the Modern Warfare 2 grind? If that's a DLC, Tom, then no, I can't, because I don't have the DLCs. Oh wow, what happened there? Mount the curve a little bit. There we go. Oh man, I need to pay attention reading the chat. Oh yeah, it's not a pack, it's separate. Might be able to do that for for another stream there, Tom. I didn't see that cactus there, G-Song. I just don't know. You know, but I think for me, more than anything, you know, when it actually comes down to the nitty gritty stuff, is I would be very, very disappointed if the things which I have in the back of my mind are true. And that's just for the future of this game, because I really hope that this isn't what I think it is, but I come across a thought that maybe Fernbus coming to console and the aspect of Unreal Engine 5 is kind of a way for them to take everyone's sort of focus away from Tourist Bus when it actually gets released. And I'm hoping that's not the case, because my biggest fear is them actually neglecting Tourist Bus when Fernbus comes to console. That is one of my biggest fears, because I have a sneaky suspicion that is going to be the case. And by offering the console player all the DLCs included with Fernbus for console, I just feel that that's a little bit of a sweetener. Now, I could be completely wrong, but it's not the first time that they've done something like that, and for them to kind of promise as much as what they have and not giving us any sort of concrete sort of, you know, announcements or like I say, updates or follow-ups to the fact, or even a release date for it. I don't know, it just doesn't really seem right, especially with, you know, the Xbox side of things, with the way that that's going at the moment, and of course certain elements of the game not working or not even available. You know, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't it? You know, but I can definitely see them just with their sort of general attitude towards everything. You know, I can really see that them just saying, "Oh yeah, tourist bus will be updated when Fernbus comes out. It'll all be fine. Stop your crying," you know. And then when Fernbus actually comes, that age-old question will still be asked. And I think what doesn't make sense as well is the fact that, you know, Fernbus came out before Tourist Bus, and still to this day they haven't actually got either games on the PC side of things working properly yet. You know, like I said, it's been just a little over 2 years since the PC has actually had an update for it. So, do you know what I mean? Like, if they're willing to do that for the PC front, God knows what they plan on doing for the console side of it, you know? Of course, we'll wait and see, and most of the stuff, yes, it can be taken as speculation, but, you know, a leopard doesn't change its spots. So, if you're talking from, if you're talking from the console side of it, Tom, unfortunately, there is no real way of counteracting that unless you just remove the force feedback completely. Now, on the PC side of it, you can actually change your force feedback settings, which is something which I hope gets implemented later down the line when they obviously bring Fernbus up to consoles as well. But I can't see it being an actual thing, sadly. Because of course, like I've mentioned it before, so on the um, on the PC, you get this option here, so you can obviously change, you know, or you can just completely remove it. There is an option. Now, I never understood why they didn't implement this in the console side of it. It's basically just a lazy port, you know, nothing new there. But on the console side of it, there is no way of you being able to adjust anything like that. Now, of course, if you've got a fancy wheel, you know, you can obviously change the settings through that. But if you don't have a fancy wheel, you either put up with the force feedback or you just simply go into another game that supports wheels before loading Tourist Bus, and then you know, you close that game down and load into Tourist Bus, and what that'll do is it'll just remove the force feedback completely. So in other words, just load up another game first, use your wheel for a couple of seconds, close the game down, load into Tourist Bus, and you'll notice that the force feedback will be completely gone. But yeah, that's what I never understood. Tom. It's the fact that those settings would have been extremely beneficial for the console, and I just don't understand why it was never implemented. Well, I guess it would depend on what wheel you've got, Tom. But it is a 4-year-old. I mean, I know that the G920 and the G923 have had a few issues around this game, actually. More so the G923. I just don't think the G923 works, actually. But I don't think it's your wheel. I think it's just... it just seems like Xbox have just got the hard end of the deal at the moment. They've always struggled with Xbox, with wheel support and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was something to do on their end, you know. It's like even Aerosoft with On the Road. You know, when they implemented wheel support for that, it was the Xbox users which had a problem, and then the majority of the wheels which they said would work didn't. Or it could be a game bug, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it, but you know, I mean, yeah, okay, it does have wheel support, but this is my frustration with companies that deem their games to be simulators. I mean, it's called Tourist Bus Sim, for God's sake, like, do you know what I mean? You know, it's a simulator up until the point of where you want to simulate. You know, just lack of settings definitely don't make it any easier for the player. You know, like some people could have really bad wrists, you know, and can't really do much sort of physical activity with their arms, you know, and sometimes playing this on the console is a bit of a workout. Couldn't drive with a controller, impossible for me, just hasn't got the proper driving feel to it. Yeah, I mean, it's very, how do I put it? Using the controller for this, it's very twitchy for me. Yeah, absolutely, Tom. Absolutely. It all revolves around money. And sadly, the people that don't kind of do their due diligence on these games, especially from TML and Aerosoft, you know, and don't kind of look into what the game's really about and all the problems which are currently present, once you bought that game, there's not an awful lot you can do about it. Because by the time things start going wrong, you're out of that sort of threshold of getting a refund, essentially. Which is mildly convenient. Hola. Right, that seems to be everyone off. It's not been bad actually driving this comfort class tonight. It's been quite enjoyable. Sorry. But they won't be making money if they can't play it. Customers would be demanding their money and possibly... Yeah, well that's the only reason, Tom, why they've actually been so quick on fixing the Xbox side of things at the moment. Otherwise, if they didn't, that's what would have happened. Yeah, I mean, if they, like I say, the problem is like that's talking in a sense of like it's in like a beta. What we got to remember is that this is a full title, you know, and there's problems in this game which shouldn't exist. The fact that it's a full title and the game is being presented the way it is, you know, people are being tricked into spending their money on it when the game's an absolute mess. That's the standpoint that I come from. If it was in a beta phase or it was a trial or whatever and it was like early access, still not complete, then you can kind of ignore and neglect those sorts of things in the hope that they'll be fixed. But the sad reality of it is, this is a full title. So you paid your money for a full title and you can't even enjoy it because the basic elements of the game do not work. They either do not work or they're non-existent. That's the gripe that I have. You know, it's all well and good us talking about, you know, what they could change and what needs to be done, but this conversation shouldn't be happening. We should be looking forward to new expansions and DLCs and things being improved upon, not begging for elements of a game which should be it should already be working. Yeah, exactly, G-Song. It is a nice game, you know, just to sit back and relax and chill with a bit of music, but I can't remember whether the radio actually works on the console side of it or not, actually. Coming to think of it. But yeah, I think that's my biggest concern is that these games are being sold as full titles and they're not living up to expectations and they're not being fixed unless there's a dramatic error which, you know, will hang in the balance of potential mass refunds, you know what I mean? Like, it's the only time we've ever heard from them, really. It's quite sad. Let's get out and inspect the damage, shall we? Oh, it's not too bad. That's a nice shot. You get like a weird sort of motion blur the closer you get. Passengers have been left at the stop. Okay. It's interesting to know. No, that is it. But yeah, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this stream. I know it's not really been... These last few streams on this game have not exactly been positive, but, you know, like I say, this is just a verdict of my part. You know, this is how I feel about it more than anything. And by all means, if you've got anything that you want to add or any questions that you may have, just drop them down in the comment section below. And of course, in the description as well, I will leave that link for the help desk for Airsoft. So if you've got any sort of concerns that you want to raise with them, that will be the place to do it. And of course, feel free to join the Discord as well. You know, in there we talk about anything: trains, planes, hunting, fishing, farming, all that good stuff. You know, anything you can really think of in terms of simulation. But you know how it is. And like I say, guys, I hope that you've all enjoyed it. Take it easy, stay safe, enjoy the rest of your evenings, and hopefully, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy.